Hello everyone, welcome to Jets Central here on Jets TV. As usual, got some Jets paraphernalia on here, guys. As always, go Jets, but it's still unbiased sports talk. As usual, guys, please comment, rate, subscribe, and like the videos as well. I'm going to be getting to my Week 14 recap of my picks here, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Pittsburgh 14, Cleveland 3. I actually took Pittsburgh in this game. That got me a win. Ben Roethlisberger had 280 throwing the ball. He also got hurt in this game. From the look of the hit, it looked like he might have tore his ACL or tore his MCL, but he went to the locker room for a couple plays, came back, and turns out he only had a high ankle sprain, came back and was throwing the ball. He was hobbled. You could clearly see he couldn't put any weight on the foot, but he was still out there playing and making plays, so hats off. Cleveland was really just getting dominated by that Pittsburgh defense, so hats off to Pittsburgh, got the job done, got me a win. Thanks. New York Jets 37, Kansas City 10. I took the Jets in this game, and the game honestly really wasn't even as close as the score. Kansas City was just getting dominated by our defense. Our offense was extremely sharp as well. Mark Sanchez was moving the ball. Sean Green had 129 yards rushing the ball, and we were just getting the job done. Todd Haley actually up getting fired, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's gone now. I've been calling for him to be fired since the start of the season. He's just bad. A lot of moves are also being made within the core of that franchise. The GM for the Kansas City Chiefs, he's now going to be a VP for the Miami Dolphins. So a lot of shakeups in the franchise in general. So hats off to the Jets. I picked the Jets. They got me a win. So we're just going to keep the momentum, hopefully, into making the playoffs. Jacksonville 41, Tampa Bay 14. This was one of the more disappointing games. Tampa Bay is just not playing. Raheem Morris, the head coach of Tampa Bay, he is now officially in the hot seat. Tampa Bay had 7 turnovers in this game. You just cannot win football games if you give away 7 turnovers. I don't care who you playing. Blaine Gabbert had 217 throwing the ball for Jacksonville, and Morris Jones-Drew had 85 yards on the ground as well for Jacksonville. Jacksonville just came out, took advantage of turnovers, and got the job done. So hats off to Jacksonville. I picked Tampa Bay in this game. They got me a loss. New England 34, Washington 27. This game was a lot closer than I thought it would be. I took New England. They got a win. Brady had 357 throwing the ball. That Patriots secondary is bad. They were getting used all day. It was a lot of big plays given up by them that kept Washington in the game. But you know what? Like I said, New England's offense just kept it rolling. They got the job done, scored enough points, won the game. So hats off to New England. They got me a win. Atlanta 31, Carolina 13. Took Atlanta in this game. Atlanta actually came back and scored 26 points in the second half and roared back into the game and got into the lead and kept the lead all the way till it was over. Matt Ryan had 230 throwing the ball. Atlanta's 8-5, but they're a very quiet 8-5 team. Can someone please tell me, anybody, Atlanta fans, not Atlanta fans, anybody that's watching their games religiously, can you please tell me why they're so quiet? Why aren't they just blowing teams out? They have so much offensive power. It's just, it's beyond me. So, no, definitely let me know, guys. Moving on to the next game. Baltimore 24, Indy 10. Indy still has not won a game this entire year. Baltimore pretty much just came in there and steamrolled them. Joe Flacco had 227 throwing the ball. Ray Rice had 103 yards rushing. Typical stuff. I'm moving forward. Philadelphia 26, Miami 10. I took Miami in this game. That got me a loss. Michael Vick is back. Michael Vick threw for 208 yards. Chad Henne actually ended up getting knocked out in this game. He ended up getting injured. Tony Sperano got fired after the game, after Miami lost, which is ridiculous to me because he actually wasn't even going to be there for the next year because his contract is up at the end of this year anyway, and they've been trying to get rid of him since last year. So firing him, I don't understand. You might as well let him finish out the season, but whatever, it's Miami. And again, they're having the GM from the Kansas City Chiefs. They've acquired him. He's coming over as a vice president there. So things could definitely, possibly get turned around for the Dolphins because it is not looking good. Next game, Detroit 34, Minnesota 28. Minnesota ended up benching Christian Ponder because he was playing like a disgusting slob. And J.C. Webb came in. J.C. Webb actually was leading the comeback, got the ball down into the into the red zone of the Detroit Lions, but just couldn't punch it into the end zone. J.C. Webb actually could end up starting probably for the rest of this year. He could be looked at as a starter in this league, honestly. Remember that name, J.C. Webb of the Minnesota Vikings? He could end up quarterbacking this team. Christian Ponder's looking really, really bad. Matt Stafford had 227 throwing the ball. And also J.C. Webb also had 109 yards rushing. So, just getting the job done. But Detroit still won the game. That got me a win. Game over. New Orleans 22, Tennessee 17. I took New Orleans in this game. That got me a win. Drew Brees had 337 throwing the ball. Very close game. Tennessee made a lot of plays. They also, their starting quarterback in Tennessee also got hurt. He had an injury of his lower leg. So they brought in their backup and he just kept it rolling. So, but it was a close game again, but New Orleans pulled it out. So that got me a win. Houston 20, Cincinnati 19. I took Cincinnati. That got me a loss. Yates just led them to a win in the last seconds. I'm not taking anything away from Yates. He had 300 yards throwing the ball. But, Cincinnati had a lot of mental mistakes in this game, a lot of penalties that kept Houston's drive alive. Just since they got to tighten up in Cincinnati, because I really honestly believe there's no reason they lost this game. There should have been no reason that they lost this game. They should have won this game. Their defense was playing well. Their offense was playing decently. Jerome Simpson had a touchdown in this game where Andy Dalton threw him a ball in between like 2 or 3 guys, and he ended up getting hit, got up, popped right up, and was dancing in the end zone. So, it's a disappointing loss for Cincinnati, but I'm not taking anything away from Houston. Yates came in, won the game. They didn't actually do a lot last game, but he did a lot this game, especially leading them back on that comeback on that final drive. And, he's definitely auditioning for teams that are looking for a starting quarterback. So shout out to Yates. You got to win. Hats off to you, but that got me a loss as far as my picks go. Denver 13, Chicago 10. This game went into overtime. Marion Barber has to be the dumbest player of the week. In regulation, he runs out of bounds with 2 minutes left to stop the clock, and Chicago has to punt the ball, which gives Denver, 2 minutes to run their offense, after pretty much having the game won in Chicago. So they run their offense, they come down, they score the ball, they score a touchdown, and now the game's 10-10. They go into OT. Marion Barber fumbles in OT, gives the ball up. Denver takes that, they drive down, kick a field goal, boom, win the game. Tebow had 236 throwing the ball. I took Denver in this game. This game got me a win. His numbers were not all that great as usual, but you know what? He led a comeback. I'm not even going to try to make it make sense. I'm not going to apply logic. I'm not going to apply logic to it. I'm just going to say, Denver got the job done. Denver's defense is playing extremely well, by the way. And Denver got the win, so, hats off to them. Arizona 21, San Francisco 19. Arizona really just came in and got the job done. Larry Fitzgerald had some big catches as well. I don't know if they're, really lackadaisical in San Francisco because they already made the playoffs, but you cannot lose to the Arizona Cardinals. You just can't. So I'm taking it like that. Frank Gore had 72 yards rushing, but again, Arizona still won, so whatever. Also, Skelton had 282 throwing the ball in that game for Arizona. I see you out there like a boss. But I'm moving forward. San Diego 37, Buffalo 10. Phillip Rivers had 240 yards rushing, or had 240 yards throwing. Matthews had 114 yards rushing. This is just utter domination by San Diego. The wheels are falling off in Buffalo. Fitzpatrick, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, has not been playing the same since they gave him all that money. So they need to reevaluate what's going on in Buffalo because, they're just losing games left and right. But again, hats off to San Diego. I took them in this game, and that got me a win. Green Bay 46, Oakland 16. Aaron Rodgers had 281 throwing the ball. Grant had 85 yards rushing. This was just utter domination by the Green Bay Packers. If you thought that they were going to let up because they were undefeated, they didn't. They came in here and just put the smacketh downeth on the Oakland Raiders. This game was not competitive whatsoever. Oakland was getting destroyed from the jump. Carson Palmer came out and threw an interception on his first drive. Green Bay's offense was rolling. Not only was it rolling with them throwing the ball, they were running the ball as well. So, I mean, the way they were looking yesterday, they were pretty much looking unbeatable, like they might go undefeated for the rest of the season, which I honestly believe is very likely. So hats off to Green Bay. I took them. I could not take Oakland. I just couldn't. And, you know, it was because it was in Green Bay and it was cold, and, you know, Green Bay had looked the way they had been looking, and boy, was that right on my part, because they beat Oakland real bad. So hats off to them. They got a win. They got me a win. The New York Giants 37, Dallas 34. You know, this game was, I took the Dallas Cowboys. This got me a loss. Eli Manning threw for 400 yards in this game. DeMarco Murray actually ended up getting hurt as well. He broke his ankle really bad. He's going to have to, he's done for the season. He's going to have surgery. So that's a big loss for Dallas. Dallas' secondary is really bad. Tony Romo played a great game. The offense for Dallas did what they needed to do. But you know what? They just didn't get the job done. Dallas actually had the ball, you know, in the last couple of seconds. They actually threw the ball down. They got within field goal range. Tom Coughlin, the head coach for the New York Giants, actually called a timeout, which iced the kicker. He actually made the field goal, but he called the timeout before he got the field goal off. They run the play back. He comes back. They kick the field goal, and Pierre Paul, a defensive end for the New York Giants, actually ends up knocking the ball down and blocking the field goal. It was a very crazy game. You could, if you were watching the game, you could see that pretty much either whoever had the ball last was going to win the game, because they were just scoring left and right, left and right, left and right. So hats off to the New York Giants, but this is a game that Dallas just had to win to stay in this playoff race. They got one more game at the Giants, which pretty much is for pretty much for the AFC East or NFC East title, excuse me. And might be for a playoff trip, depending on how their seasons go. You know, if it goes up, if Dallas loses a couple more games before they see the Giants again, it could be done for them in as far as playoff hopes. So shout out to New York Giants. You guys got to win, man. But Dallas, you guys have got to start coming through in the clutch. Seattle 30, St. Louis 13. This game is not even close as well. Marshawn Lynch is a beast. He has ran for 115 yards. He had a lot of statement runs in this game as well. They're throwing Skittles around him. I guess he's looking for an endorsement. I'm not hating, player. Get that money. So shout out to Marshawn Lynch for getting the job done. Baldwin as well, a wide receiver for the Seahawks. He had some catches. He had 93 yards catching. Tavares Jackson for the Seattle Seahawks, he had a disgusting first half. He was playing a lot of bad football, but he actually ended up throwing for 224 in this game, but he didn't look good doing it. But, you know, St. Louis just got outclassed. Josh McDaniels, you know, he might be having to look for another job next year, because that offense is bad. So, again, hats off to Seattle. I chose you guys. You guys got to win. So that's all the picks we have for today. Guys just got the job done this week. Again, it's go Jets, go Jets, go Jets. Also, Rob Gronkowski also set the TD for a tight end in a single season in NFL. He has the most touchdowns by a tight end, so hats off to him as well, for Rob Gronkowski, for getting the job done tight end for the New England Patriots. And as usual, guys, again, it's always Jets, 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 Unbiased Sports Talk. Shout out to everyone that watches. I'm still taking topics for my blogs. I'm so confused. I also will be taking music as well. If you're unsigned, that means if you're not signed to a record label, send me music. I may play it during, you know, my blog, and I'm definitely gonna, you know, promote people's mixtapes as well. But I only, you know, if you send me music and it's bad, I'm not gonna play it. So if it's good music and I like it, I'm gonna play it. If it just sucks, if you're just on the mic going yo 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 and ha ha, it's not gonna end up on the show. So feel some type of way about it. I don't care. I'm still going to be confused. So shout out to you guys. Still taking topics as well. Send them to me. It's Go Jets, Go Jets. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.